Thank you very much for staying with us this afternoon. Our top focus, when I tell you extra blankets, endless cups of chai, and the need to be bundled up, you know, it's winter. But a season that should give one respite from, let's say, scorching summer and heat and should be looked forward to is now turning out to be a nightmare for people living in the northern part. In fact, in a chilling saga, if we may call it that way, North India battles a relentless cold wave. Punjab, Haryana, Delhi and Chandigarh continue to shiver. In fact, just talking about the temperature, it has dropped to 3.8 degrees today in the national capital, the lowest this winter. Now, the poor weather conditions has also resulted in dense fog blankets this morning, which you can see in your visuals, impacting travel with 23 trains to Delhi delayed due to poor visibility. And not just trains, airplanes too were impacted with 103 flights delayed, out of which 30 are international flights. And there's no respite from the cold anytime soon.
Delhi witnessed its coldest winter morning. 103 flights have been delayed, out of which 30 were international flights. In fact, at Safdarjung International Airport, the temperature dropped down to 3 degrees Celsius, taking the visibility to an absolute zero across the airport and also across national capital Delhi. In fact, other airports have also been struggling with extreme smog-like situations that were caused across the national capital. In fact, today is considered to be one of the coldest winter mornings. In fact, one of the coldest days since winter has come. In fact, in the coming few days, we're also expecting the temperature to further go down, and the air quality was also in the very poor category, which further resulted in the visibility becoming absolutely poor. And in fact, the brunt of it has been suffered by the common commuters. In fact, air traffic has also been impacted gravely, and air travel is also high since Ram Mandir Pratishthan is also just around the corner. So it will be interesting to see if the weather gets better in the coming few days.
Weather department has already given an alert to the people of Punjab, and specifically on these days we have seen the reported temperature in the various locations of Punjab, whether it's the district Amritsar, Ludhiana and other districts. It has been reported that the temperature has gone below as per the normal. Because of that, we have seen the life has already been affected. We are reporting from Hali, where we are showing how the light are being used by these commuters. So we can see at the same time what we have seen and what we have learned from the police forces also, the traffic cops have already been issued directions and advisory to deploy on all the important points in Punjab, so that during this dense fog which is happening for the last so many days, there should be less accident should happen in the state of Punjab. Once again, I request my VJ to keep on showing all these visuals, how this dense fog has already affected the commuting in the early morning and late evening also, and the people who are suffering from the various problems because of this cold wave and the alert which has been issued by the weather department. It has already affected the life of the people in the state of Punjab. A lot of precautions have already been given by the senior authorities, specifically by the police department. They have already issued direction to all the traffic cops. They should be on the duty so that there should be less accident because of this dense fog, because during the dense fog and specifically in the morning hours and late evening hours, it has been seen the travelling has been affected, and because of that the directions had been issued by the top police officer to the down also, so that proper precautions should be taken.
Well, IMD clearly has predicted that cold wave conditions shall prevail in North India for the upcoming days as well, whereas central and eastern regions anticipate a 2 to 3 degrees Celsius temperature drop in the coming days.
कश्मीर में बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है, ठंडी तो काफ़ी है यहाँ पे, और अभी डल झील के किनारे हैं। डल झील में आइस जमी हुई है एकदम पूरा, और ठंडी बहुत कड़ाके की है।
व्यू बहुत अच्छे लग रहे हैं। डल झील के किनारे हम लोग रात को बोर्डिंग वोर्डिंग किए थे, अच्छा है। अभी बर्फ़ थोड़ा लेयर जमा हुआ है, स्नोफॉल नहीं हो रहे हैं, मगर आशा है शाम तक होएगा।
But here is a double whammy. While we speak about weather conditions being unbearable, the air in Delhi NCR is unbreathable. In fact, taking note of the rise in pollution level in the national capital, let's tell you that the NGT has sought a fresh report from the Commission for Air Quality Management. In fact, the NGT has called for a comprehensive report from CAQM regarding the air pollution in Delhi NCR. In fact, it emphasized that the commission established in early January should not rely on other agencies as it possesses significant powers. In its initial filing, the commission outlined action points and a timeline to control air pollution. However, the bench noted concerns raised by the commission's counsel regarding the involvement of various implementing agencies such as the governments of Delhi, Punjab and Haryana, as well as the departments and police forces in executing the pollution control plan. Expressing dissatisfaction, the NGT criticized the Commission for shifting responsibility to different agencies without fully utilizing its conferred powers. The case is scheduled for further proceedings on January 23rd. But to better understand why we see this at this point of time, as well as the implications on the larger aspect of things, I'm being joined in by my guests this afternoon. Let me take the time now to introduce them. Bhavreen Kandhari, environmentalist and member, My Right to Breathe, as well as GP Sharma, President, Skymet. Thank you very much, both of you, for taking the time out and joining us here this afternoon. Mr. Sharma, let me come to you first with the fact that we do know this is the time where, winter is on set. We do see the temperatures being, really cold at this time of the year. But why is it that this time around we understand it's far more colder than what we usually see?
Nivedana, we know that there has not been any significant rainfall. Why significant? There has not been no rainfall in the month of December also, and in continuation, even the month of January so far also hasn't seen any significant precipitation, whether over the mountain or over the plains. It's a dry cold prevailing, okay? We yet to see any active western disturbance give the seasonal winter showers, which are definitely around this time. One or two spells they do occur. Okay, totally they have given a skip to the region, entire region. I will say Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, even Rajasthan, and the mountains also. They still await first snowfall of the season. The popular resorts, I will say, whether it is Srinagar, Manali, or Dalhousie, or Shimla. Last season, we remember that it happened, though it was late, but still on 29th of December, it was there. Yes, a good spell of snowfall was there, and so was Manali and Shimla also. Okay, but this time, and the irony is, I don't see anything happening in the next about a week or 10 days as such. That means takes us to the fag end of almost December. Though there are hopes that yes, around that time we can expect, but then for the next about week or 10 days, there is no expectation of snowfall in these popular destinations. Okay, it means that this dry cold which have been there, that is going to persist. The cold and bitterly cold winds, biting chill, sliding down the slopes of the mountain over the northern India, it's going to continue. Okay, though there is a little respite, we have seen Delhi and around a slight a peep of sunshine that was there yesterday also, and today also we see little respite during the daytime, but then it has been terribly cold in the night, and with a thick blanket of fog also which descended over the capital city, disrupting the railroad air traffic simultaneously. That possibly will happen even in the next few days as well. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Sharma, as you make those opening remarks and give us a quick sense of where things stand and also how it seems like, which is unfortunate, that there's no respite for people living in the northern part. I'm going to come back to you in a couple of minutes. But Bhavreen, coming to you as far as the situation specifically in Delhi NCR is concerned, it's not just the bitter cold that they have to breathe, face, but also the air which is polluted, which is worrisome.
Yes, thank you so much for raising this. It's a very critical conversation, and we kind of just evade that, or rather even ignore it, calling it fog most of the time. This is not really fog, and it's smog. And like you rightly said in your introductions, this is smog, and smog is when the fog it has brings in poor visibility because of the dust and the other, particles, like we're talking about the PM 2.5 and PM 10 here. Mostly what you see is PM 10. So this is a very, very dangerous, thing to mention, that we are only talking of cold, but we're not talking of the pollution that is actually affecting the citizens and the residents, of these cities. And because of the cold, also now the pollutants tend to remain only, on the level of, our, breathing heights, and it doesn't rise, and that's what causes more problem to the people. And now, as you even hear medical experts talking about a lot more cardiovascular problems, heart attacks, and of course we know the lung functions problems, the COPD is increasing, the asthmas. This is all because we are very coming in close proximity to the PM 2.5 and 10 right now, and with the smog. So something that needs to be worked out all around the year. And of course, it's appreciative that the Supreme Court has once again asked the CAQM, but the CAQM has to understand that they will have to, take on these complete implementation activities throughout the year, and they have to be monitored. You cannot just say things and let them happen, because after all, it's whatever has happened throughout the year is going to reflect now in the winter. And we cannot just, be quiet and not, make use of all those lovely drafts and, suggestions that we are making. So this is an extremely important situation, critical situation, that it's a public health crisis, and something that we are seeing it right now in front of our eyes. Most of the other months, we are not even looking at, because we don't see it, we don't want to even believe it. But I'm sure many times many of us have come and said this over here, that we've hardly had any good air days throughout the year. Even the last December that we've gone through was one of the worst in the 6 years. So we need to just take this.
All right, we seem to have. Okay, Bhamna, fair enough. You were calling it a public health crisis, and like you said, anybody breathing that sort of air will, of course, have health issues as well, which is worrisome. But Mr. Sharma, coming back to you, as far as what you did mention, there is no respite. But what I want to understand from you is that what are the essential factors that drive this, and is it worrisome? Because is this something that we're going to be seeing in the next couple of years as well? Because with the fact that how we talk about global warming too, and the impact of it, because you did talk about lack of rain that we did see this year?
Nivedana, not necessarily that this year it has happened. The rains have delayed, it will happen next year also. But then this year, basically, it is linked with the phenomena which we frequently talk about, that the El Nino effect or so. Okay, it's a drying effect of El Nino. It is there. Okay. Right. But then not necessarily that it will carry on, and the next year also possibly same situation. No. But then global warming is a reality. Okay, it is there. This 2023 possibly would be the one of the warmest year, ending on a very warm note. Okay, and then second to, if at all, second to 2016, but then otherwise, yes, it is one of the top global warming year as such. So there is no escape from that, and the global warming is going to continue because very little is being done about that. Even if it is something is done, that will take some time to materialize. It is possibly on the cards that the coming years also will see similar type of a warming, unless we do really something seriously about that, which is a time-consuming process, and it will go on. Even possibly today we start the machines, and it will possibly manifest itself after about a decade or so. Okay, so that's what. Now, this particular season, absence of rain has affected and impacted all, be it crops, agriculture, be it in the mountains, whether you talk about because since there is no snow as such, be it adventure, be it the even crops there also, the tourism, that is also affected. Most serious thing which is happening is the lifeline for the water bodies, all the reservoirs, even in the mountains, the glacial lakes and all, that is the winter snow. At the moment, all those reservoirs, all those water bodies, because they have consumed their reserves, they're at the lowest levels. And this is the time when the perennial those reservoirs, these lakes, these rivers, they get replenished with the fresh spell of snow or so, which has not happened. Okay, this is the spell which lasts till rest of the season, and this is what is the lifeline for the mountains, for the popular destinations also. You see, if you know, for Kashmir Valley, this is the Chilai Kala season, which is the harshest of the period, supposed to be 40-day period. And during this, the snowfall is supposed to be in abundance. Okay, this is the time. But then, unfortunately, nothing has happened. Any snow which happens around this time, that doesn't melt because it's very cold during this time, Chilai Kala. But then any snow, in case it happens even later, maybe sometime end of January or February, that tends to melt also. So that is what is the difference between the snowfall at this moment or which will happen possibly later.
Right.
Maybe end of January or sometime in February. That doesn't last long. So the lifeline for the mountains, which we say the glacial lakes, glaciers, which melt and they give the water supply to the reservoir, to the rivers and the streams, perennial streams, that is lacking at the moment. It is worrisome. The crops, both in the plains and in the mountains also, whether it is the apple crop in the mountains or whether it is the rabi crops, entire grain bowl of Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, that is getting affected because the low temperatures, they are giving rise to frost formation, which is very, very damaging for all the crops. You name a crop, whether it is a softer ones, vegetables, or the other ones, or even the cash crops or so, definitely they get impacted very, very largely with this. And as I said, I don't see anything happening in the next about 10 days or so. Yes, we can attribute it, like you said, global warming will manifest itself in these type of weather activities. Very, very aberration will come. The systems will not behave. The spells become longer, whether it's a heat wave spell or the cold wave spells, they will become longer. Today, possibly, it was one of the coldest day at many of the stations, many of the locations, including Amritsar in Punjab, Delhi, as you mentioned, 3.9 degree, the lowest of this season so far. And all this is having an accumulated effect. It is not lifting because the lower temperatures and the pollution,
Mr.
they have
Sharma,
a
although
very
you make
close
those
linkage.
significant points and also tell us what are the reasons for this to be panning out, I'm afraid I'd have to interject you there because we're running short of time. But I appreciate you helping our viewers better understand the situation, the challenges as well. And Bhavreen, thank you also very much for joining us with your perspective. But for the moment, we leave the conversation at that.